Hello and welcome back to my channel, guys. So today, again, part of this series of videos called Ask RH, where you guys ask your questions and I'll answer it. Now, I am a medical student, a final year medical student, and I also make YouTube videos, as you're probably figured out because you're watching this video. But yes, so today's video is actually A-levels, well, comparing A-levels to medical school. Now, this is a question which I've been asked multiple times, which I've actually not thought about before, but it makes sense. I usually compared my GCSEs to A-levels, but a lot of people seem to be comparing A-levels to medical school. There's many aspects of medical school and A-levels which you can discuss in a video like this. However, let's talk about the main things. Now, in terms of content, medical school goes more in depth than what your A-levels did. However, the difference is the stuff you learn in medical school is very interesting, especially if you like biology. Now, if you're a chemistry person or if you're a mathematics person, honestly, you're going to struggle with medicine. Like, genuinely, you're going to hate your life. And I've met loads of people who hate their life learning this content. And then it gets to a point where I hate it myself because there's just so much to learn. Now, I get it, A-levels is hard. This sort of links in with the breadth of content. Now, in A-levels, there's not really that much content, or, well, when you're doing your A-levels, you think there's loads, but actually when you take a step back and you realize, when you're at university, in medical school, there is so much to cover. Imagine an A-level is like a module, and you're probably covering 6-7 modules a term. And then there's the clinical aspect of it. So then there's the stuff where it's hands-on. So one thing about medicine is getting the balance between a lot of the content, a lot of the knowledge, but then being able to practice it. With A-level, you don't really get that. If a patient comes in and I need to do a cardiovascular examination, how am I going to do this cardiovascular examination? You have to remember it, you have to remember how to do it, and then you have to think about the signs that you might pick up on. So splinter hemorrhages, okay, well, that's going to be infective endocarditis. It really does test you because you're not just needing to learn content from a book and answer some past paper questions. This leads me on to the next point. Studying is a lot harder for medical school because you don't get past paper questions. We never get given past paper questions. You basically haven't really got a specification to go off of. You've got this learning objectives on every presentation, but honestly, if lecturers actually stuck to their learning objectives or were a bit more in depth about their learning objectives, like how in depth do I need to know this? Well, they don't tell you. They just give you 3 or 4 learning objectives and they're so vague. Whereas during your A-levels, you've got a specification. It's pretty specific, and it tells you exactly what you need to know. Medical school doesn't really have a similar thing. There's all of these conditions, there's all of this content, and we want you to know about the pathophysiology or describe the pathophysiology of infective endocarditis. Well, the pathophysiology of endocarditis is constantly being added to. There's constant research being done, there's groundbreaking research being done, and they're probably adding more information to this field of cardiology. Do you know what I mean? That's one thing that you can struggle with, the content. But generally speaking, right, medical school versus A-levels, I'd say medical school, there's a lot more to learn. It's a lot more fun. The people are very like-minded as well. So a lot of the people that you'll be studying with are very similar to you. Medical students, they are their own bunch of weird and wonderful, which some of you might get along with, some of you might not. But yeah, that's, I guess, the difference. You're very specialized people, and that's one thing to take into consideration compared to A-level, where you're grouped with various people. Hopefully that covers medicine versus A-levels, and a lot of the main differences. If you want me to answer more questions on that, leave a comment down below and I will do another video on that.